Get started with our Google Analytics class. This is the first, rather the first 2 or 3 sessions that we will kind of touch on the basics of Google Analytics, and then from there on, we will go ahead to create full-length Google campaigns, PPC campaigns, and stuff like that, in order to ensure that we are, having the client pages visible. They're getting the right number of views, the landing pages are accurate, and also possibly ending up having enough conversions like the way your client wants you to have it, right? So let me share my screen. I promise to see if I can keep the slideshow to a minimum. We keep the interaction to a maximum. That's how each class at MAA is. So we'll kick it off with an interaction, right? So let's go ahead and start, and go on your screen. You see the menti.com, right? If you're on a phone, open a new window, or if you're on a laptop, open a different window. Type that address and go ahead and put that code in there. All right. And meanwhile, I can go ahead and present it. All right, there it is. Okay. If you're able to go ahead and log into menti.com, just go to menti.com. No need of putting in any address or anything like that. Just use that code 37. Oh, there you are. Fantastic. So most of us think that we have a good understanding of a few of these topics, specifically, like analytics, Instagram marketing, viral marketing, and click-through rates. So I think it's important that let's see what happens here. It's important that we keep a track of what we know so that we can build on what we know. So see if you can answer that question. In fact, put that in the right order. Okay, well, looks like that is the order we have achieved. Most of us think that building a good quality product, retaining an employee, or even having a good brand ambassador plays an important role. Well, in fact, in today's world, and as per Statista, that's the official statistics provider, Google marketing, or even digital marketing rather, for a broader spectrum, is number one, right? Even if you don't have a great product, if you're very visible on Google, very visible on different social media, you have a great chance of selling, and a great chance of conversion. Okay, so with that polling interaction, I'm going to kick off the class, and let's just see if we can understand what the Google marketing platform, or how we dearly call it, GMP, contains. So we have Google Analytics, which we are going to talk about in detail. But in today's class, we are going to kick off the basics, and then we'll start off with a few things that we can get into details about. And then after that would be display and video 360. That would be a part of this GMP curriculum as well. Data Studio, a Google Tag Manager 360, Campaign Manager, and Search Ads 360. So some of these things are brand new, and are some of these things are also paid, right? So we have to be very, very clear on the fact that you may not be able to get to do a demo by yourself. If your employer has paid for any of these things, like for example, Google Tag Manager 360, right? I think it comes with the package, and if your employer has paid for it, and then you will be able to get a chance to work on it in your job. But here, though, we will be still able to see how it works and the specifics of how to create that campaign and stuff like that. So it's really, really important that when we go and talk about Google marketing platform and the knowledge about it, it's important to talk about some of the brand new items that have been introduced to the GMP platform. So we are going to include that as well. So let's go ahead and try and define that ourselves. Centralized measurement, it's like your brand could be visible everywhere, right? It could be visible on Instagram, it could be visible Amazon, it could be visible on websites, different apps, wherever it is. How do you know who's visiting your who's looking at your brand, who's interacting with the ad you're putting out there, or how do you know who's downloading stuff and seeing your ads in their apps and stuff like that, right? You don't, unless you have a way to um, manage all those views from a centralized location. So GMP allows you to do that. So when you embed a tag into different platforms or different websites, different landing pages, you will be able to get analytics from each one of those sources, right? And that is what helps us understand where the customers are going and viewing it your brand, right? For example, like if you understand that your brand is got very high visibility in an app, then you could possibly increase your spending on ad spending on the app rather than putting your ads on Google regular searches, right? Or if you see that organic searches are leading to a lot of conversions, you could possibly put your money there. So that's what centralized measurement means, right? It means that you're able to go ahead and measure everything from a central location, and that is GMP, right? Let's talk a little bit about data fidelity and no data loss between digital platforms. Now, this is really, really important. Why? So somebody is interacting with your brand on YouTube, right? Your ad pops up on YouTube, and somebody is interacting with your brand on YouTube, and after that, they're gone. We don't know where they're gone, right? Maybe they went to a different website. Maybe they got pulled into a different ad, or maybe they just shut their browser and walked away to a market. I don't know what they did, or maybe they kept browsing on their phone, and maybe they returned to YouTube after an hour. Whatever they did, GMP will help you track where the customer is or what they're doing currently, right? And that is what we mean by no data loss. So if the person is not online, then you'll get to know that. If the person is online but on an app and doing something else, you'll get to know that. If the person is on Instagram and doing something else, you'll get to know that, which is very, very important, which is how we understand customer behavior, right? Best in class technology at each stage of the programmatic ecosystem. Now, this is complex, but it's super simple in the back end. What does this mean? So we use a whole host of different technologies in order for us to track, in order for us to advertise, in order for us to help in conversions, right? So it's not like just one app or one method or one platform. It's like a host of things. So these host of things, such as GMP, such as Instagram, such as Twitter, or this, it could be something in the back end as well, like a tag manager. Any of these things constitute an ecosystem, right? Ecosystem is nothing but stuff that is in an environment, right? So so when we need all of these to talk to each other, kind of give us a good understanding of what's happening in each other's worlds, that is called an ecosystem. And that's what we mean by best in class technology. For GMP provides you the best in class technology in order to deal with such an ecosystem. And we are going to talk more about that. Advanced features and audience targeting through platform connections, right? So what is an advanced feature? Advanced feature is nothing but, for example, I want to know where the audience came from. I want to know where the audience goes. I want to I want to follow the audience. I want to know what they do, when they do things. I want to know if they are in Bangalore for 200 days in a year. I want to know what languages they speak. I want to know everything, right? And those are some of the absolutely real advanced features which have been derived out of the audience data Google collects. So what does a person Google for, or what does a person, where does a person travel, where does a person navigate using maps, which hotels or which malls is the person visiting? All of this is recorded by Google, and this type of a data is provided to you through an advanced feature in the background when you use Google Marketing Platform. So seriously, if you are a good digital marketer, and if you know Google Marketing Platform very, very well, you could in fact reach the exact audience. It's like saying, I'm going to go ahead and send this ad to 500 people who are at the moment shopping in maybe in one of the malls in Bangalore. So you can drill it down to that level, right? Um, so so those are some of the reasons why we use Google Marketing Platforms, and some of the important features behind it, right? So we are now going to start off by defining some of the terms. I'm not going to read each one of these. I'm sure you can read, but I will let you know how it's used, right? So generally, a user comes on a web page. The user then goes ahead and clicks on stuff on the web page, and that period of time where the user is on your web page is a session, right? um, if such users like are new, for example, on in today's session we have a bunch of users here. If you see the participant list, if we were to say how many new users are here, it would be approximately 7 or 8, and that would be the percentage of new users Google Marketing Platform will show you each time. So again, one more time, when you say user, it's one person coming onto the website, kind of clicking things, trying to buy things or trying to read things or whatever. And then we have a session. Session is how long that person was there, that user was there. And number of percentage of new users is nothing but how many new such people came to the website and tried to click on something or left the website immediately, or maybe read something for a while or things like that. Now, these things are very, very important to read from a digital marketer perspective, because you need to really be very clear of the terminology. You cannot have a mental block of terminology, right? So, whenever you see something or whenever you talk to somebody in the industry, you need to be in the right terminology. You should say things in the right, correct terminology. For example, you should be using words like there were about 15% of new sessions, right? You should be saying things like what was the average duration of a session, which means if there were 100 people who came to your website, then how many of these people stayed for 15 minutes? On an average 15 minutes. Somebody stayed for like 10 hours, or somebody stayed for 8 hours, somebody stayed for 15 minutes, somebody stayed for 20 minutes. But when you average that out, I think people were, maybe on an average, they were there for about half hour. So what is the average duration, and what were they doing there, right? Like, were they reading, were they clicking on something, did they move around the website, or your app or whatever? Source, where do these people come from, right? It's very, very important. If I come to know that my source is Facebook, then I am going to put more campaign and advertising budget in order for me to be on Facebook and be more visible there. Okay. So those are some of the terminologies that you'll continuously see on Google Marketing Platform. We have to be very, very, very aware of it. We have to use it in our conversations with the client. We have to use it in our conversations among our colleagues. And if you are enrolling for a course, then you should use these specific technical terms when you ask questions to an instructor like me, right? So you can say things like, what are the expected percentage of new sessions on a brand new website which has not been page ranked yet? You can also talk about, what would be a indicator of a source detector, for example. When do you Do you like people to come through Google searches, or it should be more of a targeted thing, like maybe Instagram or something like that? So where is, what's a good source to come from, so that we can target the campaign better, right? um, when we say, if you take a look at, I mean, I like bounce rate, so I'll go start from there, but you can continue reading the rest of it. Bounce rate, so bounce rate is exactly what it means. So you come to a web page and you just leave, right? Immediately bounced off the website. Now these are very, very critical. Why is somebody coming to your website and or your app and immediately leaving? One thing could be that you're asking them to sign up something, right? Hey, as soon as I come to your website, you're saying, please accept my cookies, please do this, please do that, or here's a form, please fill out your name. And I don't want to do that, so I'll just leave. That's a bounce. Okay. If we know the bounce rate, we are then able to control the uh, specific landing page, and we of course have to reduce the bounce rate there. We can't have a lot of bounces. If in order for us to convert, we need to have people on the website, right, doing stuff. Page views, as the name indicates, the total number of pages that the audience has browsed through, right? Destination page is which the specific page that you expected the visitors to come to, right? So if you want your visitor to buy something and come to the buy now page, that is the destination page, right? A landing page would be a page where you would want your visitor to come and land and read a few things, but then buy now page would be a destination page. And the really beautiful thing about Google Marketing Platform is the user flow, right? The user flow actually is a beautiful visualization of how the user has browsed the pages from where he or she has gone, right? So you start off by about you. Sometimes user will say about you, they'll read about the company a little bit. Then the user then goes ahead and looks at some of the reviews, right? And then the user goes to the product, and then the user clicks on buy now, check out, sold, right? That entire journey from where the user started is a user flow. Now, why is this important? It tells us what gave that user a confidence to buy your product, right? For example, if you're tracking an Amazon page, I don't know if you know this, but you can also track Amazon or any other websites using GMP. And if you're tracking your Amazon product, let's say, so the user flow, which means that the user went to a bunch of different things, right? The user goes to show me product information. Then the user reads through the product for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then the user views all the pictures, right? And then the user leaves without buying. What does that mean, right? User flow in that case means something's missing. You need to improve your pictures, you need to improve your product writing, you need to improve maybe also maybe have some reviews or whatever, or maybe you need to completely improve your landing page so that the user is able to buy from it, right? Have more confidence and buy. So user flow is very, very important. Now, there is also something called medium, and this is basically like uh, how is the person directed to your site. So a medium is nothing but a specific place from where your traffic arrives. So if most of my traffic is coming from Google email, like Gmail, then I know that that's a great place to market, and I continue with the marketing campaign as an email marketing campaign, so that I get my I get my traffic from there. Okay, so move to the final pages. I think the next piece is where something to do with reports, and generally we do a quick debrief on what we have learned today and what the next class is going to be. Okay, so if you're looking at this class, this is definitely a slice or a small representation of how classes happen at the MAA Academy. But if you want the full experience, I'm sure you will be able to get that by when you join one of the courses there. So, all right, thank you so much, and I am going to wrap this up.